doing that!
Hey guys, welcome to Digit.in, and what we have for you today is our review of Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. Now before we get into the game itself, there has been some confusion post-launch whether this is a sequel, a DLC and whatnot, so let's clear that first. Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales is not a DLC, it is a standalone game, but it is a smaller adventure. Think of it like Uncharted Lost Legacy. So it is a standalone game, but it has a lot to do with the main Spider-Man game in 2018 in terms of gameplay and mechanics. So let's get started and see if this game is worth the asking price. Now, kicking things off with the story, this is the story of Miles Morales, as the name of the game suggests. Now, at the end of 2018 Spider-Man, they show that Peter Parker is actually training Miles to be a Spider-Man, and where this game starts is the training is still on, but Peter Parker needs to actually leave town on some work, leaving Miles Morales as the only Spider-Man. Think of this as a coming-of-age story, and like with all Sony first-party games and even the movie Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, it is all about his confidence building, the fact that he has these powers, the fact that he can make mistakes and learn from them, the fact that he needs to balance his superhero life and his personal life. All those things come into play out here just like they would on the big screen in the movies, and it is executed with the same blockbuster feeling. So if you really liked what Marvel is doing with the Spider-Man Homecoming or movies, or what Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse brings with a story, then this type of a story, a narrative about coming of age, about a villain who has more human motives and a lot of tongue-in-cheek humor and a great supporting cast, then you will definitely enjoy the story in this game. It has some really interesting side quests as well, which were a pleasant surprise. Now, coming to the gameplay, mechanics like swinging, traversal, combat are largely unchanged, with newer animations and some new moves thrown into the mix. We will come to the special abilities in just a second. Now with traversal, you have the same abilities, which is you can vault off a wall to gain some speed while you are swinging. You can run across the wall, you can swing normally, but you also have certain venom powers which help you traverse a little faster. Now speaking of the special abilities, you do have one which is called the Venom Punch. You have this focus meter that built up even in the previous game, but this time around you can use it to either heal yourself or execute these special venom moves. When you fill up the meter and unlock some special abilities, you can take out a large crowd of people which with these venom moves, which can actually help you get out of a sticky situation. You can also go completely invisible for some time, and this has been smartly implemented into a couple of side quests. In the main story, think of it like if you are infiltrating a group of guys and you suddenly get noticed and you want to quickly hide to maybe regain some health or to take them out silently again, you can just go invisible and perch in a corner somewhere, and the enemies will go into sort of a hunting mode, similar to what we saw in the Batman Arkham games. Now this ability to go back into stealth was missing from the 2018 game, and the way they've implemented out here is really nice. Add to it the fact that your invisible abilities are also used in some side quests, which are a lot of fun. So while the quest, the main story of the game, is this cinematic experience, it has the same flow where you will traverse to a certain place, a cutscene will play, you'll solve a puzzle, you'll fight a boss, you'll chase someone. It has the standard flow of mixed gameplay, which is nice, but it is the side quests which have seen a rehaul of sorts. You now have a smartphone app where people can request for your help. So someone will want you to save a cat, someone will want you to investigate a robbery, someone will want to tell you about a helicopter that's going out of control, someone will ask you to investigate certain sounds that are coming, so on and so forth. So there is more diversity in the side quests this time around, and it's easier to access them rather than swinging around a city waiting for something to happen. So the app which gives you your next side quest is really helpful. Coming to collectibles, there are a lot of them thrown around the city, and some of them have very interesting elements which I'm not going to spoil here. However, Peter Parker himself has left certain side quests for you around the city, and completing these quests is kind of essential because it unlocks either some combat abilities, some traversal abilities, or some stealth abilities, which is nice. So these are quests you might want to complete early on to get better hand of certain gameplay elements. You also have an upgrade tree which is divided into three, which is your stealth, your venom, and your combat abilities, and some of these abilities are locked for new game plus, which is kind of nice. It gives you some kind of a motivation to go back and play the games again. So that's there. You also have a slew of gadgets, which is fewer in number than the previous game, but that's okay. They are a fun way to engage and change combat. You also have a number of suits that you can unlock in the game, and each new Spider-Man suit brings with it its own abilities, just like the previous game, and you can mix and match it. Now, speaking of the graphics of the game, we played this game on a PS4 Pro hooked up to a 4K HDR TV, but this is a cross-gen game, which means that people who play this on the PS5 are going to get a richer fidelity. From what we've seen online, some of the leaks hint that the game can load up in a matter of 2 seconds, which is great. But on the PS4, fast traveling on the map took about 20 to 25 seconds, just to put things into perspective. When it comes to the look of the city has changed a little bit. It's winter now, it's Christmas. Most of the landmarks have Christmas decorations. There are people on rooftops in jackets, chilling in the snow, quite literally. And when you move around, you do get this winter feel of New York virtually in the game. It does have stunning elements, especially on an HDR TV, when there are some sequences in the night where you get this really good neon lit streets. Some of the enemies have neon colored outfits, which also stand out nicely on an HDR TV. And I wish the game had a day-night cycle, just to be able to experience some of the vividness that the city offers in the night. But overall, it's a pretty beautiful game. Now, speaking of the sound, there are some elements which Sony has implemented in this game which is really interesting. For example, every time you're swinging, you get this slight whoosh from the controller as well to add to the immersion. There are some quests which need you to pay attention to the sound. Of course, on the PS4, it's more of giving you a hint as to which direction to look in. But I think this is going to be something that's going to use 3D audio for the PS5, and that's going to be interesting to see how it's implemented. You have a stellar cast of voice actors as well. You have the character who's playing Miles Morales. His name is Nanji Jeter, if I got pronounced that right. I hope I pronounced that right. So Nanji Jeter is playing Miles Morales, and he does a great job in voice acting. You also have Troy Baker, who's taking on an important role in this game, which we aren't going to spoil for you. There is also the entire city that comes alive, be it the noise of the traffic, people walking on the streets, people wanting to give you a high five when you pass them. It is a really nice, dynamic, vivid sound experience that you get with the game. But here's answering the most important question is, should you pay 4,000 rupees for Spider-Man Miles Morales at launch? And that is a bit of a pinch, because we have seen the prices of these games go up. Now, the lifespan of the game isn't really long. In one weekend sitting, I finished 94% of the game, and what I was left with is just a few collectibles and a few side quests. So you can beat this game in literally 2 sittings over a weekend, or if you have really nothing else to do, you can beat it over a weekend. Maybe a new game plus will take you another weekend to beat, to unlock everything. And considering the smaller size, while I appreciate smaller size games, they should come with a slightly lower price point, at least for the previous gen consoles, or in an introductory way, because considering full-fledged games are going to cost you 5,000 rupees, just paying a mere 1,000 rupees less for a smaller package adventure seems to be a bit of a pinch. And I would highly recommend everyone play this game, but maybe when the price drops a little bit. The adventure is great, the game is fantastic. It will, motivate you to play again. The sound design is brilliant from the get-go of this game. Some of the music that's used in this game really got my heart pumping and gave me goosebumps in certain cinematic sequences. So yes, it is a great game. It's just a little expensive considering what's on offer. So there you have it, guys. That was our review of Spider-Man Miles Morales on the PS4. We played this game on a PS4 Pro, but it is available on the PS5. And if you buy the game for the PS4, you get a free upgrade to the PS5 whenever you decide to purchase Sony's next console. Thank you so much for watching this video, and for more from the world of technology and gaming, you can subscribe to our channel. We will catch you in another video. It's goodbye for now.